right, what's up, Turtle Riders? How we all doing? Sorry about the delay out there. I had some FUPA Wi-Fi issues. Had to do a quick restart. But I'm going to go ahead right now, and I'm sharing this link on the Turtleboy Twitter account. How many of you people are on Twitter haven't followed me yet? I've been on there for like 3 months now. New record. So go ahead, give it a follow. I'm at Real Uncle TB. I've also shared this link on the Turtleboy Sports Forever page, which doesn't grow at all, as well as the Clarence with Emerson page, which it seems to be the most active page. Remarkably, hasn't. I'm not even going to jinx it, but it's been out for quite some time. So yeah, go ahead, give those a follow, give those a like if you haven't already. What I was going to say. Oh, one more thing. Let me go ahead and share the link. So this episode, as always, is brought to you by our good friends over at Turtle Riders. So if you feel like donating to the program, boom, there's the link right there. Feel free to go in there, give it a little dono if you want. And if you leave a funny comment or any comment, really, I'll read it off there in the show periodically as we go along. We've been monetized again, just to be clear. I got monetization back. So I won that battle. I just haven't turned it on when it comes to like the super chat because I don't see the point. Like, why am I giving Google all this money and they fucked me over? Like, I'd like to thank Bristol Blarney for that one. That was her fraudulent complaint to YouTube that I copyrighted her non-copyrighted content. Turned out to be completely fraudulent, just like the federal complaint that she submitted to them. And I won that appeal. I got the videos reinstated and I got monetization back. But they take 30%. That's a lot, man. 30%? Think all the money they freaking took over the years, over the year. Can't have it. Can't have it. So I like it more this way. There it is right there. Keep me updated on the Bruins, too. Last time I saw the Bruins were up 1-0, I believe. We're in the playoffs right now. Bruins just won a, 2 overtime game last night over the Hurricanes, who I believe we swept last year in the conference finals. They win this one. I mean, what do you guys think? You guys happy to have sports back? Are you not happy to have sports back? Do you not give a shit? To me, it doesn't quite feel the same way. It obviously doesn't have the same. Like, the Bruins are in the playoffs right now. I'm doing a show during a Bruins playoff game. I would never do this normally, but it doesn't feel like the same thing. I don't know about you people. It just doesn't feel like the same thing at all. I don't know if anything's going to feel like the same thing. Like, without fans in the audience, I didn't realize what a big difference it makes, right? Like, it's just not the same. It's not the same. You're playing in front of empty seats, the fake crowd noise. I mean, the NBA, whatever. It feels like you're watching like a Vegas Summer League game, you know, like a small little arena, couple people watching. It's just not the same, but who knows? I mean, both of our teams are contenders this year. Both of them could win it all. Both of them could get eliminated in the first round. You never know. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okie dokie. Oh, yeah, and NFL. I mean, if NFL comes back, I don't know when, if they're going to come back on time or whatever. But because, like, usually by now, we're well into, like, training camp now. Like, is Hard Knocks even doing a show this year? Are they even doing a show? I don't even know. Who are they? Was it supposed to be the Raiders this year? Brett would know. So I don't even know. Wait, Laura's awake? Laura, you said goodnight to me like 2 hours ago. You're like, I'm hitting the sack. Laura, I don't know when Laura sleeps, but she's more dedicated to Turtle Boy than anybody ever met in my life. More dedicated to me almost. Anyway, yeah, so let's talk about the show tonight. So first thing I want to talk about, so I put on the agenda, I didn't really know what I want to talk about. I was going to re-hit some of the Bristol Blarney stuff. I actually went on a panel last night. I don't know if anybody watched that. I should. So that guy that Kate went on a show last week, and she made that accusation about being raped or whatever, the lie. I actually went on her show. I went on that guy's panel last night because somebody told me about it. And Ashley Azevedo jumped in. Did you guys happen to see this? Did you happen? I can show you a couple. Well, let's watch a couple highlights of this, shall we? Just for a moment. Let me switch the screens here. Application window, Chrome tab. Okay. All right, let's find this video. Paul, I don't know. This guy's like an auditor. I don't even know what he is. I don't really care. So this is last night. Ashley Acevedo came on and we just yelled at you. I'll show you a quick little, it was like an hour long.
People are dealing with on a daily basis and I don't
know who this chick was.
And they deal with lots of shit in their lives and they don't bring it up. And they don't throw that into, I've done this.
There you go.
AZ, if you rewind the tape, you'll see that I did ask like 3 times.
Literally, I was backstage. I did not hear you ask me one time, but that's all right.
I promise you, if you rewind the tape, you'll hear me.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead. What's up?
So I just want to say 6 months ago, literally 6 months ago, I was face to face with Kate. She told me the story word for word.
Okay.
If you knew this story, then none of you would be saying anything. It's disgusting. Have any of you seen what kind of...
So she's explaining now why, and this was not on the agenda, but I just couldn't resist. I don't know if you guys watched this. It was pretty entertaining. It was like an hour worth of yelling. And she's in there today talking about, like, I guess she's saying that she owned me. Like, this is how stupid this poor girl is. I kind of feel bad for her. She's like short bus special. So she's explaining why she believes Kate was raped, even though this was never brought up. Like, she literally just brought it up the other day. She's clearly making this up. She made up a lie that there was a trial, that she like took the stand and shit. We confront it all here. So this is why she believes her.
Monster Stephen Young is. Have you looked up that police report? Have you read it? Sorry, I'm doing laundry right now.
That's all right. That's all right.
So Kate telling you something happened doesn't mean it's true.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Pauly right now.
Get the fuck off the panel then. I'm not gonna shut up because you're on there.
Give it to her. Give it to her.
Let me talk anyway, so I'm not even gonna do that with you.
So notice Ashley
I personally heard it from her own mouth. I've heard it from her own.
Oh, she heard it from.
She said something, so it must be true. It's not like Kate
6 months ago. If you go in Discord right now, there is a message from 2012. Somebody talking about her rape. So,
well then.
What does that really mean? There's a message from her talking about rape. What does that mean?
That means that in 2012 she was talking about this as well. That's what that means.
So back when she lost her kids. That was the year she lost her kids, and apparently she was talking about being raped, allegedly. I mean, who knows what Kate. Therefore, it's true. This gets wild. I don't even know the point in time. If somebody could find it for me, there was one point where I legit asked her. I said, because like the trial, obviously there was no rape trial. Like that was completely made up. And I've got evidence of that. I spoke with family members of the alleged, imaginary rapist. And they said that there was no trial. He took a plea deal. He got 2.5 years in prison. And he ended up serving 19 and a half months of it. And he was placed on probation after that. He hasn't been back to jail since. Obviously, what he did was criminal. The police witnessed him punching her in the face. So that's not good. Definitely not condoning that. But why not just stick to the I was assaulted claim? You know what I mean? Why not just stick to, like, it's bad enough as it was. The guy punched you in the face. You're already pretty sympathetic when it comes to that. Why do you have to go, I was raped? Right, because she needed an excuse for why she gave away her kids. Why her kids were taken from her because they were rape babies. So she didn't want the rape babies. What the fuck? They were also like toddlers. They weren't fucking babies. So anyway, I asked Ashley about this. I said, when was the trial? Like, what is this? She said she took the stand. I played this the other day on the show. She said she took the stand and she said that the defense attorney wasn't even grilling her half as hard as that guy, News Now New England, whatever his name is, Brian. Took the stand. What trial you're talking about? And so I'm like, there was no trial. What trial are you talking about? And I'm telling her this stuff. I'm like, I spoke with the guy's sister. So obviously there was no trial, right? There's obviously no trial. Kate should be able to pull up a docket number that will easily confirm there's a trial. Like, when was it? What courthouse was it in? Was it a jury trial? How many people were on the jury? Like, there's so many easy ways to just prove this if you're her. And she loves to bring documents. Live documents. I got documents. But she doesn't have anything for this. And I said to Ashley, I said, well, before we even go forward with proving whether or not this happened, which it didn't, well, we definitely know there was no trial. I cannot prove that she was never raped. That's literally, you cannot prove a negative. I can prove that there was no rape charge or rape arrest, though, because in the courthouse records and in the arrest reports and stuff like that, he was not charged with rape. Rape is not mentioned anywhere in there. So she's claiming, it's like, so you could easily prove this. So I said, look, before we go down that way, and we I proved to you that there was no rape trial here. Do you even care? Do you care if she's lying about the rape trial? And she said, no. You got to hear the audio. She goes, no. And that summed it up for me. That summed it up. It's like these people just, there's no bringing them back. See, I feel bad for Ashley when I'm like reading this because she's so stupid. She just, poor girl can't help herself. She was like a sad puppy dog when she was over here with Turtle Boy. Wanted to belong to something desperately. She went all in on Bristol. Like she had a strong connection to Turtle Boy for a while there. And she gave it all up for Bristol. She threw it all in there. And so at this point, she has to go down with the ship. Like she can't come. It's too late to come crawling back. You can't. Too much. I mean, she went to her goddamn court date with her in March in Attleboro. You can't undo that. So at this point, she just has to sit there and in her heart of hearts, I know she's not a very smart person, but she's got to know, right? She's got to know that, that never happened. So if anybody pull up the clip of that, I don't feel like going through the whole thing. But yeah, that's that. Let's go on to the next topic, shall we? I want to talk about, I didn't have like a specific thing I wanted to talk about. There's been so many teacher stories, guys, this week that I don't even know where to start, like which ones I'm going to do in the live show this weekend. Usually that's like a tough choice to narrow it down to which ones. So there have been so many stories about teachers embarrassing themselves that I think we need to just go through them all real quick, briefly, and kind of put it to a vote and say, who is the cringiest teacher of the week? Because I've never been so embarrassed for a group of people in my life than I am for these loud and vocal teachers. Now, that does not mean all teachers. I actually got a bunch of messages from former coworkers at Shepherd Hill in the last 24 hours about this. Like everybody in Dudley and Charlton's talking about this story. Everybody's talking about it. Like those teachers are in trouble. They like do what they, I'm going to sacrifice your kids. Not a good look. Not a good look. So first one up, our first contender is this guy. I almost want to save this guy for the weekend because this letter, guys, was so fucking good. This was the funniest thing. Look at this guy. Look at him in all his glory. His name is Topher Carlson. Topher Carlson. And Topher writes, this fall, when you start thinking about thanking teachers for their service, kindly sod off. At least when it comes to thanking me. I don't want your thanks. I want your support. And those are very different things. Thank you for your service is a great way to look like you support those in the military service without actually doing anything proactive, like fighting for VA funding. Thanks are about as helpful as hopes and prayers after a mass shooting. A nice sentiment, but not worth anything. How about writing to school committee now and advocating for a well-planned and well-structured remote learning? I'm about to go to school, knowing that every day the kids in front of me could be asymptomatic and kill me, or one of my colleagues, or each other. I'm about to go to school, knowing that I could kill one of my students because I might not know I'm shedding virus. Your desire to clear your conscience by offering your thanks only acts to make me feel worse about it. Because I'm not choosing to place myself and my students in an unsafe situation. School committees around the country are making that choice. Most of us don't have the immediate option of saying no or finding another way to do our job anymore than the essential workers we were all thanking as they died loading bags for minimum wage this spring. Thanks are hollow and make most people feel better for sacrificing teachers and students so they don't have to fund social safety nets. Thanks are a way out of funding programs that support small businesses and help them stay afloat instead of forcing them to remain open with measures that mean they might not be able to scrape by anyway. Thanks are a cop-out so we can ignore the systemic funding of education and lots of other things and are now in a very easy but painful decision. You absolutely should be thankful and expressing your gratitude, but save it for a time when you aren't thanking out of guilt for sending your teachers and children off to die because you have a lack of willpower to actually make political change. And if I'm not here next year because I was killed by being infected at school, or I can't work because I'm suffering from the trauma of unwittingly killing a friend or a student after months of being exceedingly careful, thank you for making that possible. I mean, well done. Well done. No, that's a hell of a soliloquy right there. I mean, that's goddamn impressive. The sad part is, obviously we're mocking him and we're all getting a good laugh over this. This guy's dead fucking serious. He couldn't possibly be more serious if he tried. He meant every single word of that. Or did he? I mean, he is a drama, like he's a math teacher. What school is this chump at? Oh, he's at Danvers too. So he teaches at Danvers High School where literally he teaches math. We're literally 7 years ago, a math teacher named Colleen Ritzer, a 24-year-old Assumption College graduate, was murdered in cold blood and raped in a bathroom by a 14-year-old student. Her life was in danger because of animals in the schools. That is a much bigger issue than coronavirus. You should be much more scared of your students than you are of coronavirus. Quite frankly, coronavirus has killed 0 children and 0 teachers at Danvers High School. Students have killed 1. And I mean, I could not believe the best line, obviously, there is, you absolutely should be thankful and express your gratitude. Okay. First of all, I am thankful of teachers. I am gracious of what they do. I understand the hard work that they do and the sacrifices they make, the long hours. They work long hours, man. A lot of people think they just get the summers off. First of all, they don't get paid in the summers. Secondly, it's the amount of hours that they put in during the school year is abnormal. Like, you work a full day, right? You get there I used to get to school like 6:30, 7 the latest. Leave there after coaching by 5. Come home, eat something, shower, grade plan and shit for like hours. It was like fucking, it consumed my life, especially earlier on. After a while, you got used to like the motions and figured it out. It was a little bit less work by like calling parents. Like, it was always just shit out of your plate. So teachers work probably, I would guess, like 70 hours a week. That would be my ballpark estimate of what a teacher should be doing. Now, not all of them. There's those teachers that leave at 2:10 every day, right on the dot. They stand by the window and wait for the buses to leave, and then they bounce. But a lot of them do work their asses off, and I am gracious for that. I'm very gracious for what teachers do. However, you should let us say that. The fact that you're out there, I don't want it. When you say that I should be thankful and express your gratitude, that makes me not want to express my gratitude. Like, don't tell me what I should be doing. I'll thank who I want to thank. Right? It's like a waitress that, does a good job right on your table, and then she comes up to you and tells you, you should leave a big tip. You should. It's like, bitch, I was gonna. You did a good job. Now I kind of don't want to. What's wrong with you? But I mean, this guy, is he serious? Do you guys think he's serious? Like, does he actually mean this shit? Like, you think this guy's like going off to fight in Gettysburg or something? Like, Jesus, dude, relax. It's just commie cold. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. So there's that one. Then we had the next teacher up we had from, which one was this? Oh, this is a Boston teacher. Her big thing, let's see what she was posting. She had this whole I don't want to go back to school thing. Anybody that's open up wants kids to drive. They're not paying attention to the data. She's sharing books called The Pigeon Has to Go to School, but only when it's safe for everyone. Okay. And basically blames it all on Trump. Another one that says, what if the question wasn't, should schools reopen? What if instead the question was, why have schools and educators become the answer for every problem in our society? And if we are the answer, how come we haven't been funded in that way? Okay, so this is another thing that's pissing me off. If you're asking for funding right now, you should probably go to work. This makes me not want to fund you. Like I'm a yes on 2.5 override guy. You know what I mean? I'm always in favor. I'll pay a little extra in taxes if it means better municipal services in my town or my city or whatever. If they really need it, if the school needs a new track or something, who knows? You know, I'll vote yes on that. But I kind of don't want to know. Kind of don't want to, because I don't want to give these fucking people any more money. Now, they obviously don't represent teachers as a whole, but they've certainly shown their true colors. I mean, I thought nurses were bad. Nurses were great compared to these people. Obviously, the vast majority of nurses showed up and did their job, but you know the ones I'm talking about, the stay the fuck home people, the clap for me people. At least they were going to work. Maybe they just didn't want traffic. I don't know. But at least they were going to work, doing their jobs. These people are a million times worse than the nurses. The teachers, I still can't believe this is happening. Like 2 months ago, I saw some bristling with, like, I assumed everyone was going back, right? Why wouldn't we go back? Especially after the goddamn, I thought George Floyd fixed this all. I really did. Turns out he didn't. So I thought this was all going to, we'd all be going back and stuff like that. But these teachers, I thought it was like a joke at first. I thought it would be some fringe teachers. Now, this has become like the policy of teachers to officially oppose going back completely. Officially oppose going back completely. And like be like, we're going to die. We're going to die. I mean, I won't go through all these one by one. I'll save some of them for the weekend. So just a quick review. So we had this lady in Boston who gets info from me, and she said she's scared to go back to work, but not too scared. So she's at the casino. So she's able to do that, but not go to work apparently. Then we had up here this lady. She wants to come. Jen Vaca, if you're out there. I know she came on our page and said she'd come on the live show, and then she blocked me. She's from Marlboro, or she's from Grafton. She teaches in Marlboro. She is a freaking menace, an absolute menace. And she made a big stink. I'm going to save her for the live show this weekend, but she made a big stink about people taking pictures, kids taking pictures, prom pictures on the Grafton Town Common because they didn't get to go to a prom and they wanted to get dressed up and take the pictures anyway. I mean, you have to feel for these kids, right? Because they already bought their dresses and shit, and they were robbed of a prom. A prom's a good time, you know? I don't really remember mine, but I heard it was fun. So, yeah, like you took this experience away from them, and this is all they got left is like, take some pictures. Do you realize how twisted and evil and diabolical you have to be to see kids doing that? And you're like, I'm going to fucking go and tell Facebook on them and have people call the Board of Health. You fucking, like, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? So we'll get more into her this weekend. She obviously is completely against going back, a complete lunatic. She teaches kindergarten in Marlboro. We're definitely going to save this one for this weekend. Braintree Beckinator. She was a great one. I loved her. And then we had the Dudley situation. We had this teacher. Once again, I'm just going to read this off to you real quick. So this is where I used to teach in Dudley Charlton Regional School District. Now, it's important to point out in this district, it's a little different. It's one of the few districts in the state where the majority of parents are conservative. Charlton is a Trump town. It had one of the largest turnouts for Trump in the state, and by largest, I mean like 56%. So in Dudley is slightly Democratic, but it weighs itself out more where more kids in your class. Like I had kids where kids would come in NRA shirts, you know, Bush shirts, those back in the day, Romney shirts. It was pretty common to see stuff like that. A lot of kids, there's dads hunt and shit, like kids who wore like camouflage to school, stuff like that. So they don't this is not a district where, hardcore radical left teachers who don't want to go back because of politics. That's ultimately what this comes down to. That's not going to be very popular there. Not going to be very popular. So there is a teacher named Julia Winans or whatever. She misses her kids. And she decides that she's going to basically say that she does not want to go back to school, but because she's scared of coronavirus. She doesn't want to go back to school because she's scared of coronavirus. But she does lockdown drills. And that if the school was shot up, she would save your kid. I've brought up this analogy before. I don't believe that for a second. I think if anything, this whole bullshit has shown us that teachers will gladly throw your child in front of the deranged, Marilyn Manson freak who listened, to too much grunge music. They'll throw him right in front with the AK. They're going to throw him right in front of him. They ain't going to save your kid. They've made that plainly obvious now. And that's the other thing too. It's like, imagine them saying like it's as safe as you can get because kids don't spread it. They don't die from it. The teachers, unless you have a pre-existing health condition, you're not going to die from it. So it's pretty goddamn safe. How safe does it have to be for you to go back? Like, I don't get it. Are they ever really safe? Like, what school is completely safe from a school shooter? Any kid can bring a gun into a building at any time. Just come in the morning, go to town in the afternoon. They could easily do that. Are you not going back to school until guns are eliminated? So then what's the logic of not going back to school until coronavirus is eliminated? I don't get that. Like, what do you want? And I got news for people. So this whole thing with COVID, right? What can anybody explain to me the end game here? Anybody? Like, how does this end? What is our goal? Eliminate the virus? Because as long as the virus exists out there, it's going to spread. Clearly, we've shown we can't stop the spread, right? It gets on planes, it goes places, it infects people all over the world. Other places, like death rates have died down, right? America still has more deaths, but guess why? That is because we're a country of fat fucks. That's the unpleasant truth of it all. People are like, well, how come people aren't dying in England and France like they are in the United States? Because they eat healthy in those countries. At least in France. Maybe Laura could tell me about, there are a lot of fat bastards in England. I don't know. America, we're famous for our fat bastards. That might be the new name of the Washington Redskins. The Washington Fat Bastards. Because nothing is more American than a fat bastard shoving Wendy's down his gullet. So that's why we're dying in higher numbers down here. So the spread is not going to stop. The deaths might have slowed down in other countries because they're healthy. They're healthy. Japan has 1/10 of our obesity rate, guys. 1/10. That's why they're not dying over there. They have coronavirus there. It spreads. They just don't die from it. So we do because we're the fat country. We got picked on. We were vulnerable to begin with. Anyway, so if the goal here is to get rid of coronavirus and then the world can open up, the world's never going to open up. If the goal is to wait for a vaccine, then just say that. Just say that. Just say, we are waiting for a vaccine. That's it. But clearly, the plan here is that, like, they think that, so when is safe to go back? When do we go back? Like, when is a good time? So if, they're saying if less than 1% of people test positive for it, all it takes is one to spread it. So what are you talking about? In a school of 1,000 kids, that would mean 10 kids have it. And then they're going to spread it. And then everyone's going to have it. So who cares? Just work your way through it, baby. You'll be okay. And I hate to say it, if you die, you die. If you don't want to die, if you feel like you're high risk, get a doctor's note. Use your sick days. Whatever it takes. The world doesn't stop for you. I'm sorry, because you let yourself go all these years. Not happening. My kids shouldn't go without an education because you went without exercise. Sorry. I'm just going to come out and say it. Sorry. The world does not revolve around your unhealthy lifestyle. Hate to say it. Hate to say it. And another thing somebody brought up, and they're all mad about this, and let me just address this real quick before I explain New Zealand. Somebody said, well, yeah, you're just worried about kids. What about the elderly? Right? What if they could go to their grandma? You don't care about them as much as you care about kids, they said. And the answer to that is no, I don't. I don't care about the elderly as much as I care about kids. That is an unpleasant fact, but every single person watching this and in the world agrees with that, including the elderly. There isn't a single person here. If you had one spot left on the lifeboat and it was grandma and the 3-year-old, you're not leaving the 3-year-old, are you? You're saying bye-bye to grandma. That's just how it works. Grandma got to live her life. The world does not stop because grandma might get sick. Sorry. The kids there is a significant, if this virus was killing children, it would be a whole different ball game, baby. I would be team lockdown, as would everybody else, I would assume. You'd have to be kind of deranged to want to open up to a society with a disease out there that kills children and targets children. Nobody wants that. Luckily, COVID doesn't do that. So we're good. Yes, it is more likely to kill you if you're over 80. But guess what? If you're over 80, you are going to die real soon anyway. The end was coming for you soon. The world should not stop so that you can get 6 more months. I'm sorry. It's an unpleasant fact, but it is in fact reality. And if you're offended by that, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place because I don't care about your feelings. I've never cared about your feelings. Facts. Don't care about your feelings. I believe Ben Shapiro coined that, but it's just true. It's true. And every single person out there knows it. So it is what it is. Anyway, I bring up the end of the virus because in New Zealand right now, the Huffington Post, all these liberal media outlets last week, they were telling me how awesome New Zealand was. They're fucking obsessed with this country because they got that prime minister there. The spicy Kiwi lady. What's her name? I forget her name. It doesn't matter. Young. She looks like a New Zealand Gretchen Whitmer. And she's very progressive. There was a shooting in New Zealand, 6 months ago, a mass shooting. She has banned guns the next day. Just like that. You can do that in New Zealand. So the liberals freaking love this lady. Love her. Well, there's about 5 million people that live in New Zealand. It's an island nation. And so they simply just quarantined it. That's how they got zero COVID cases out of 5 million people. Like they're like, oh, they killed the virus. They got rid of it. Look at them. Look at them. It's like, okay. Well, now what? That's what I said. I'm like, now what? What comes next? What do? You know how they got rid of the virus, guys? They closed the borders. And you can't walk across the border because it's a fucking island or a couple islands. So they just closed the borders. I mean, is that what you want? You want to end immigration completely? Is that what you want? We can do that. Donald Trump, I bet, would support that. Is that what you want? I don't think liberals are going to go for that. And I don't think it would work anyway because we don't have a wall. That's a problem. And we also have a 3,000-mile border with Canada. It's going to be pretty hard to keep people out of this country. So they opened back up, and within 24 hours, I'm not even kidding, there was like 50 cases. And they immediately put everything in the country back into lockdown. A week before, they were bragging about, oh, they're going out in New Zealand. Everybody's having a good time. Nobody's got coronavirus, so it can't spread. Then they open up their borders. Some idiot gets on a plane with COVID, doesn't realize he has it, comes over here. Now they all have it. And they're much more susceptible to it because they haven't built up any herd immunity. It's really simple. Sweden beat it. Sweden's the only country in the world that just said, fuck it. We're going. We're not shutting anything down. We're going full speed ahead. God bless Sweden. And everybody else should do that too. But we'll see. I don't know if we have the balls to do it here in the United States. They got the balls to do it in the South, but the rest of the states, I don't know. Not so much. Oh, we have a proud Sweden. Okay, Courtney Anderson. Excellent. So anyway, but let me just hit refresh the dono button here in case we got anything. All right, let me read them off here. We have one from 7 Pounder says, for the retired teacher legal defense fund. In your experience, are teachers union reps ex-teachers or lawyers? So how it works is you have your building reps inside the building, and they're the ones you go to if you have like a problem. And I am still pro-union. I don't believe in dissolving the union because the union saved my ass several times, right? My local union. What I have no use for is the MTA, the state union. They're the ones that our small local union has to pay dues to, and they take our money and basically give it to Democrats. That's all they do. Like it was like $800 a year for union dues. As far as I was concerned, it was insurance. Insurance in case a kid said you did something. Or you get in trouble for writing a blog called Turtleboy Sports. In case something like that happens. Because the principals will come down to you. And without the union, they could just fire you. See ya. I mean, that's how it works in a lot of jobs that don't have union protection. And I don't think that's fair. I think teachers have a right to assemble and protect each other, right? And hire attorneys. That's all you're paying for. That's the way I saw my union dues. It's like, that is insurance in case I need a lawyer. And the MTA is going to get the best lawyer. They're going to get like a Boston lawyer. And I met some sharp lawyers there. And they represented me and they helped me out. And without that, I would have been fucked. I would have been gone from teaching well before 2014. So I'm in favor of unions. So the building reps you go to, they're the ones you bring your immediate problems to. And I don't know what the question is. Are teachers union reps ex-teachers? They are teachers. The building reps are teachers. They're full-time teachers. It's what they do on the, extra thing. I don't even think they get a stipend for it or anything. Yeah. Anonymous says, with over 3 million monthly views, TB Daily News is the place to get impressions and promote your product or service. Keep up the good work on. That is like a fucking commercial for advertising on Turtleboy right there. That is a good one right there. You're hired, sir. You're hired, Anonymous. Cheryl Patton. Oh, that was from the other day. She had another great show. Thank you. You are very welcome. Okay. So, back to this whole teachers thing. Yeah. So this lady, how about this lady? I'm gonna save this one for the weekend. I'm gonna save this one. I will say this. I couldn't wait to get when I saw this woman, Kristen Marie, when she commented, I'm like, oh, that bitch. I think this needs to be said. I think this needs to be said louder for the idiots in the back. Oh my God. So this woman is, not to pick on her, but she might have to worry about COVID. Let's just say it that way. COVID would not be her friend. And I used to eat lunch with her. And then she was on my floor, taught English. And she said like, a couple times during lunch, I remember her saying like I would say offensive shit that you can get away with, right? For instance, she would often refer to like kids who came from like religious backgrounds, like, or who were, pro-life or something like that. She would call them Bible thumpers. And to me, that always just cringy a little bit when people say that, Bible thumpers. Why is that an acceptable slur for people to use towards religious people? Like, how did that become socially acceptable for a teacher to feel comfortable saying that in front of other teachers, right? Like, what if I just said, oh, she's a liberal, she's a huge whore. Oh, it comes from a family of whores. What? Huh? But it's acceptable to say that a kid's a Bible thumper. What does that mean? You're like, are you mocking them because they're religious? Like, you think they're stupid? And she was always very arrogant about it. Right? Very arrogant about it. And so to see her on here saying this shit, I'm like, oh, of course she's team lockdown. I almost forgot about this chick. Of course she's team lockdown. And yeah, there she is right there. I mean, she's a real peach. Real peach. So we're going to get more to Beth Ann. I'm going to save her for the live show on Sunday, or Saturday rather. But I could not, that's one of the wildest things I've ever seen a teacher say, is basically that she'd throw her kids in front of a gunman. That is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Okay. Yeah. By the way, I see 150 watchers, only 61 likes. Smash that like button, guys. Smash that like button. It's used for religious people who force it down your throat. That's what it's supposed to be used for. And I get that, but that's not how she was using it. And that's not how people often use it. They often use it to qualify anybody who's like conservative, like, socially conservative, if you will. Like people who were against gay marriage back then, hardly anyone's against now. People who were pro-life or whatever, anti-abortion, whatever you want to call it. People who went to church, stuff like that. They call them Bible thumpers. That always just bugged me the wrong way. All right. Why don't we just do a little Ask Turtle Boy here? Cut it short a little tonight. We're going like an hour long. It'll be good. I want to save a couple of these for this weekend. Yeah, the Haverhill. Do you guys see these Haverhill teachers? How bad was this one? Laying out the goddamn sneakers in front of City Hall like they're all fucking dying. Like these represent only when it's safe. Oh, and by the way, that hashtag and that saying is just pissing me off. How often I'm seeing these people say hashtag only when it's safe. They end everything with only when it's safe. Bitch, it's safe now. And it ain't getting any safer. I don't know. What do you want? But for teachers, I mean, if you're a kid walking by this, you're going to be shitting your pants going to school. And you have no reason to. You're like, Mommy, am I going to die? What the fuck? Why are you scaring these children? Every single one of these teachers who's involved in this should be fired. Maybe not right away, but just give them a chance. Be like, okay, well, here's the deal. I mean, why are we even bargaining with teachers' unions with this? It's not in their contract. They've already collectively bargained a contract. You don't get to change the conditions now, the terms and conditions. If the district says you're going back, then you're going back, period. So all this stuff like only when it's safe. No, you don't get to make that decision. That's not your call. You work for the taxpayers. They decide when the kids go back. They decide when it's safe. And they say it's safe now. And even Charlie fucking Parker, of all people, Mr. Lockdown, says he thinks schools should be opened. So open them. If they don't want to work, you're fired. It's really fucking simple. It's like anything else. You have irrational fear for something. It's time for the grown-ups to talk. If you keep on pretending that you're scared of this, then don't work. Problem solved. Problem solved. All right. Why don't I take any questions you guys have? We can talk about anything else you guys want. Go ahead. I do need to sign up for the ad-free. I'm logged in under a different account on there. I have an ad-free under a different username. But yes, I do. I got to get rid of that. Yeah, so the golf tournament's coming up on Columbus Day. I am going to be, we're looking for sponsors for this. Basically, I'd like to have every hole sponsor. We're going to have like signs. So if you are a local business owner or, whoever, if you just want, if you're a person that wants to sponsor a hole, please feel free to send me an email, TurtleboySports@gmail.com, and we will make that happen for you. The golf tournament is going to be on Columbus Day. Is it the 12th this year? Or is it like the 9th? I forget, but it's on Columbus Day. It is at Kettlebrook Country Club in Paxton. And we're going to have t-shirts, shit afterwards, food and shit afterwards. I'll get you a price and everything. Could be around $100. And, proceeds. I'm looking for like I want to raise money for Turtle Boy, but I'd also like to raise money for a decent cause too. So if you guys know any good, think of something original. I don't want to just do, same old shit, feel good shit. I want to think of something Turtle Boy related. Think of a cause that could use money that directly relates to the kind of content that we pump out here. You know what I mean? Think about some of the people who've been victimized on Turtle Boy, and a general fund or a group, a non-shady nonprofit that could use that money. So that's the golf tournament's coming up. I'm going to be having a sign up shortly. It's going to be dope. It's going to be fun. You're going to want to golf. It's going to be a good time. You're going to love it. Promise. Even if you don't golf, come afterwards. We'll figure it out. Okie dokie. Oh, so Leah's set up. Yeah, Leah's taking the bull by the horns here. She set up an email, Turtleboy Sports Golf. Turtleboy Sports Golf at gmail.com. So there you go. You can do it directly that way. All right. Questions, fire away. Oh, I forgot about Feta Cheese Freddy's cleaning lady. I got to follow up on that story. Screen, please. Oh, right, of course. Nope. My close-up. Any other questions? Let's see. Kristen Dewey, Real Estate Marshfield. That was last week's story, I believe. Correct? Was there an update on that? Oh, yeah. Maybe we get her sponsor all. Get Kristen to sponsor all. Oh, or we could donate to her. I don't know. Denise and Lorrayna. I texted Denise. I didn't hear back from her. There was a closed hearing this time around. I fucked up the last one. Like, they did not allow anyone in the public in this time. They actually had to go into court this time. Be in the courtroom. Which I don't understand why they couldn't be there now. Like, I went to fucking Manchester court in the height of COVID with goddamn FOHO. Fight that bullshit restraining order hearing. Can the teachers do this on city property when it's union sponsored? I guess so. I mean, what's stopping them, you know? Any update on MC Spectrum? No, not really. I thought we were leaving that as it was. Is there a free speech defense fund you could pick? Yeah, but it's called the ACLU. They get a lot of money. Why is Portland, Maine such a shithole? I haven't been there in a long time, but I would assume it has to do with the fact that they've turned it into Little Mogadishu. I think that might have something to do with it. It's like, Ilhan Omar's cousins all living there. It's turned into, it's caused some problems. Pet tracker update. I haven't heard from that lawsuit for a little bit. Thanks for the reminder. I'll contact my attorney about that one. I also have court later this month with Hadassah. Hadassah's trying to charge me with wiretapping or something like that. I don't even fucking know. I haven't read the affidavit yet. I got to go into court for that. Again, Hadassah Rose. Like, are you kidding me? Which one do you hate more? Stay the fuck home or only when it's safe? That's a great question. Oh, it's a great question. What do I hate more? Well, I hate the teachers more than I hate the nurses because the nurses at least went to work. But I really hated stay the fuck home with a passion. Hated it. But I'd have to say I hate only when it's safe even more. Now that I think about it. All right. Anything else? What do you think about voting through the mail? All I need to know about voting through the mail is one thing. Democrats want it. And if Democrats want it, something's going on. Something nefarious. Just understand that. Democrats don't try to fight for things that don't benefit them. Let's put it that way. Okay? I don't believe in voting by mail. If you're absentee, that's one thing. Voting by mail is not the same thing as absentee. Absentee means like you're not going to be there on election day. You cannot vote, but you want to get your vote in ahead of time. That's absentee. Get your ass down there to vote. Voting should be harder. I do think voting should be harder. Like this idea that it's so fucking easy to just get any idiot, any drunk off the street to come in and vote is asinine. If you can't get off your ass and get down in a polling station and cast your goddamn vote, then you shouldn't be allowed to vote. Okay, that's it. Mail-in voting. Give me a break. Shit gets lost in the mail all the time. I don't trust the goddamn mail. So, no, I'm against it. Other questions? Wish there were some Turtle Boy events in the South Shore. Yeah, maybe we can start doing more events once this goddamn commie cold shit ends. I was supposed to do one in Malden in April that got, taken out, obviously. Did you send the info to Golden Eyes? What you mean, the stuff about the court stuff? So I do have, I got the court docket number on the case today. I have to pull those up and find basically give them, I don't know, they're not even going to be convinced anyway. What's the fucking point? But I will. I'll do it anyway, just because that's what I do. The only thing you have in common with Bristol is you don't trust the mail. You're goddamn right about that. You're goddamn right about that. A mail truck flips over in the rain. Yeah, like the election's all fucked up. That's a great point. Like so much shit could go wrong with the fucking mail. Are you kidding me? The mail? And like ask Brett. Brett's getting like shit sent to his house in Maine to register in Massachusetts. It's happening everywhere. All right. Any other questions, guys, before we call it a night? Any more questions? Oh, we got a dono. Let me read off the dono real quick. We have here, Emily says, I want Jerry to come on live. We need to do that, although the show's a little past his bedtime. We'll get him on soon. Marcy McDowell, down from Australia, says, thanks for getting me through lockdown 2.0. We'll send more if you can end Australia's lockdown. Can't do that for you. Can't do that for you. But all I can do is keep entertaining you. I don't understand how they can lock down Australia. Isn't there like a lot of room down there? It's pretty goddamn big and not that many people live there. I mean, I know a lot of it's a desert, but how do you lock down Australia? That wasn't a good accent. I know. It's not my best accent. She doesn't have that accent? You've heard her talk? Marcy, you don't have the Australian accent? My kids are getting into an Australian TV show. Have you ever seen Bluey before? So I'm working on my Australian accent so we can be like Bluey. If they don't have the goddamn debates, oh my God. I'll tell you one thing. I feel slightly more confident today than I did, a week ago. Obviously, but down on Trump. I'm excited about Kamala Harris. I think she is a disaster waiting to happen. I think this whole thing was delayed for a long time because they thought that like Joe just sitting in his basement on his own was their best strategy. The less people they bring into this, the better. And the last thing they want is Kamala Harris coming in here saying stupid shit. You don't want that. So we'll see. I feel a little bit better. I was pretty goddamn convinced Biden was going to win. Now I just think he is. We'll see. I don't know how you guys feel. Do you guys think Trump's going to win? All right, put him in the comments right now. 1 or 2. 1 if you think Trump's going to win. 2 if you think Biden's going to win. Go. Thinks, not once. Thinks. Oh, Marcy's from Mass. Oh, I should have known that. Look, wow, Trump. Wow. You people are confident. More confident than we got. Let's see. Oh, man. Okay, now they're coming in. Holy shit. Trump. Biden. No idea. Trump. Biden. Trump. No idea. Trump. Biden. Trump. Biden. Trump. Biden. Trump. Biden. Trump. So, yeah, that was, I don't know. You guys are a little more, I don't know if you guys think that or want that. I would want Trump, obviously, but you got to be realistic here. If Creepy Joe wins, it gets ugly fast, Brett says. I can't disagree with that, especially if they win the Senate. That's the big thing, guys. People don't understand the power of the Senate. The Senate gets to confirm Supreme Court justices. They get to write bills, and they use the Senate keeps shit from going wrong. Like when the House of Representatives writes crazy bills, like when AOC writes a crazy bill, somehow makes it through the Democratic majority, right? At least there's the Senate. The Senate's for grown-ups. The House is for kids. The Senate can at least be like, okay, and they have a filibuster in the Senate. A filibuster means like a senator can talk for as long as he wants, or her, as long as they want, in order to delay the vote. Like back in the day, people would talk for literally weeks at a time. And now we just skip that process and we just say, I'm filibustering it. Do you want to hear me talk? I'll talk. Or we can just agree that I'm going to filibuster the shit out of this and we're not going to vote on it. And the only way out of a filibuster is you have to have cloture. And to get cloture, you got to have 60 out of the 100 senators vote for cloture. So realistically, to get anything done in the Senate, you need 60 votes. And I like it that way. I feel like shit, if you're going to pass shit and get shit done, it should have slightly more than a majority. Slightly more. So when the Democrats take the Senate, if they do, which they have a good shot at doing, they can get rid of the filibuster and then the Republicans can't fight back with the minority. They can pass whatever they want. And let's be clear. So right now how the Senate works, I don't know if this bores you people, but I love politics. 53 Republicans in the Senate right now. 45, but really 47 Democrats. Bernie Sanders and Angus King are both independents, but they go with the Democrats and everything. They caucus with them. So in order for the Republicans to keep the Senate, they can't afford to lose. If they lose 3 seats, then it's a tie, 50-50. The tie is broken by the vice president. So if Biden wins and Kamala Harris is vice president, then all the Democrats need to control everything is 50 senators. They just have to take back 3 seats. That's it. If Biden loses, then they need to take back 4 seats because they will need 51 in that case because they would lose a tiebreaker with Mike Pence. Can they do that? Well, here's the problem. So 1 seat in Alabama. Somehow the Democrats have a seat in Alabama because the Republicans put up a child molester in a special election for Jeff Sessions' seat 2 years ago. So Doug Jones is sitting in that seat. He can't win. He can't win re-election because he's a Democrat. So Tommy Tuberville, the old Auburn coach, he's going to be a United States Senator. So that's 1. So as we're starting right now, it's 54-46, understanding that Alabama is going back to the Republicans. Okay? 54-46. So realistically, assuming they win the White House, they just got to win 4 now. They got to win 4 of those seats, and they can do that. They can do that. There are seats here. This is not a good election for Republican senators. The Democrats that are running for re-election are all in safe states. Like Jack Reed is running in Rhode Island, and Ed Markey or Joe Kennedy, whoever wins that's going to likely maintain the seat. See what I'm saying? I think Kamala Harris might even be up. You don't even know because they're never challenged. But Republicans, they got weak seats, man. There's a Republican in Colorado. Colorado is a Democratic state at this point. Cory Gardner is a Republican running for election there against John Hickenlooper, the governor, a popular governor. He's going to lose. So we're going to lose Colorado. That's gone. Then there's Arizona. Arizona has an astronaut running named Mark Kelly. It's a seat held by a Republican, Martha McSally, who took over John McCain's seat. 2 years ago at this time, Republicans held both seats in Arizona. They were both ours. Then in 2018, Martha McSally ran against Kirsten Sinema, who's hot, very hot and spicy. And Sinema beat her in a very close election. So we lost 1 seat there. Now McSally somehow got appointed to the other seat because John McCain died. She got lucky. And now she's running against an astronaut who's married to a woman who got shot in the face. Okay. He's extremely popular. He's up by like 12 in the polls. They're going to win Arizona. So those are 2 seats you can kiss goodbye. Arizona's gone. Colorado's gone. So now we're at 52-48. Getting closer, aren't we? Then you have North Carolina. Tom Tillis sits in the seat. North Carolina is a swing state. They have a Democratic governor. They voted for Obama twice. In North Carolina, there's a guy named Tom Tillis. They have 2 Republican senators. One of them's up for re-election, Tommy T. And he's running against another popular guy named Cal Cunningham. Trump is dead even in North Carolina right now. Cunningham's winning by like 10. So I think that one's gone too. I think it's safe to say, barring a miracle, you can say goodbye to the seat in North Carolina, Arizona, and Colorado. Gone, gone, gone. Now we're at 51 to 49. And it comes down to the same person that every vote in the Senate always comes down to. And that is Susan Collins from the state of Maine. Everything always comes down to Susan Collins. This fucking woman is going to go down in the history books from the Kavanaugh hearings and everything. And so Susan Collins, who is a moderate, very moderate, the most moderate Republican in the Senate, is running against a hardcore liberal named Sarah Gideon. And right now, Gideon's up in the polls slightly. That's why we need Brett to vote for Susan Collins. Everybody in Maine, all our Turtle Riders, you got to vote for Susan Collins. Susan Collins earned your vote with that Kavanaugh speech, which just was a profile and courage, what she did there. And if she goes down because of that, at least she went down swinging. She followed her conscience. She did the right thing. And so if we lose Maine, now we're at 50-50. And if we lose the presidency, they get the Senate. And if they get the Senate and the presidency, they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. Whatever the fuck they want to do. So, like, I don't know how much it's going to affect your life, but there might be some reparations coming out of your paycheck. Like, there's going to be some shit going down, man. The Green New Deal is we're not going to laugh at the Green New Deal anymore because it might be real. Might be real. And on top of that, there's other states too. Iowa, Yoni Ernst running for re-election. That's a state Obama's won before, Iowa. I think he won it twice. They're technically Republican, but she's got a strong challenger there. They're being challenged in goddamn Montana. Fucking Montana. It's like a gun state. They already have one Democratic senator in Montana. They might get two. A guy named Steve Daines is running for re-election, a Republican, against the governor, Steve Bullock, who is extremely popular. Somehow Montana has a Democratic governor. All you got to do in Montana, the only thing you have to do to get elected to anything there is just say, I'm not going to let Washington, D.C. take your guns. That's it. You can be a hardcore liberal. As long as you support gun rights, you're going to get elected in Montana. That's it. And just blame everything on D.C. It's like this mythical Wizard of Oz creature out there. If we lose Montana, we're fucked. If we lose Iowa, we're fucked. Luckily, the Mitch McConnell seat in Kentucky seems somewhat safe. The Lindsey Graham seat in South Carolina is somewhat up for grabs, but I hope it's safe. Meanwhile, like in New Hampshire, Jeanne Shaheen, who won by the skin of her teeth, Democrat in 2014, skin of her teeth, has no real challenger. I don't even know who the candidate is that's going to run against her. Whoever it is, they have no name recognition. That's a safe seat. It shouldn't be, but it is. So that's my rant about politics. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Okay. Any other questions? Montana is to Republicans what Vermont is to Democrats. It's a good analogy. They like guns in both states, though. That's the thing. Clueless to Western states, stick to New England. Oh, no. I know all about Western states. Trust me. Buy guns and gold. True. No one thought Scott Brown would win. Oh, no. Scott Brown was even in the polls, man. Scott Brown, people thought he could win. They just put up such a shitty candidate in Marsha Coakley. Anything else, guys? Always trust Vegas odds. I do trust Vegas odds. All polls are push polls now. That's the only hope that Trump really has is once again that the polls are wrong, which I do have somewhat confidence in, believe it or not. Like in the back of my head, I can't help but think that they've made it so taboo to openly say, to tell a stranger that you're voting for Donald Trump. But I know so many people that are. That's the thing. So many people. Because people think that like Trump has a bad reputation and a lot of things he said makes him have a bad reputation. However, I would argue that like the Democrats at this point and their, affinity towards supporting Antifa and MS-13 and, every asshole that comes along, we can blame them for criminal justice reform, like all this shit. We can blame on Democrats not stopping the rioting. And people see that stuff. And that's our only hope, guys. It's our only hope is if the rest of the country sees it too. I truly think people are safe. People are saying the polls are bullshit. They're not, though. They matter. The polls do matter. They wouldn't have them if they didn't. I had a major crush on Scott Brown. I did too. What a great guy Scott Brown was. The day Scott Brown lost in 2012 to Pocahontas, it was just a tragic day, man. What did Scott Brown do wrong? What did that guy do wrong? He was the most moderate member of the Senate. He was a cool guy. He voted down the middle, like 50-50. He's like supposedly what everybody always wants, right? A moderate. But at the end of the day, the election of Elizabeth Warren proved that people don't want a moderate. Nobody wants a moderate. That's a lie. People always say that. I want a moderate. No, you don't. Nobody wants a moderate. Moderates don't get elected. If people really want a moderates, they get elected. But they don't, because no one likes them. Yeah, like Vanilla Slice hits it right on the head. It says he crossed the aisle too many times, and they gave him nothing for it. That's the thing. Democrats aren't impressed by that. They're not happy when you vote with them 50% of the time. You have to vote with them 100% of the time. Like Charlie Baker is as liberal as it gets, and he's a Republican. Why'd they even run someone against him? Like, why would any liberal have a problem with Charlie Parker? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Cory Gardner is a rhino. Everyone in Colorado knows it. He still voted for Kavanaugh, like easily, didn't question it. I mean, you can call him a rhino all you want. I assume you have to be somewhat liberal Republican to get elected in Colorado, but he votes the right way. He votes the right way, and he's going to lose his seat. You know that, right? I know you know that, right? Cory Gardner cannot win that seat back. He's fucking toast. Would you audition for Survivor? Nah, I got a family and shit. I don't have time. Who do you think Charlie Baker will appoint Warren seat to when she takes a cabinet seat? That's interesting. He can appoint a Republican, can he? Ooh, that'd be interesting. That'll be interesting. Maybe me? I don't know. Good question. Gardner's toast because he's a rhino. No, it's not why he's toast. Cory Gardner's toast because he's a Republican in a liberal state, dude. If Cory Gardner was more conservative, he'd lose by even more. That's just how politics works. You have to own the fact that Colorado has quickly turned into a solid blue state. Colorado and Virginia, New Mexico, Nevada, those are states that used to be up for grabs. Those are blue states now. They're done. They're done. At the same time, Republicans have picked up some states that used to be toss-ups. Ohio now belongs to us. We own it. Ohio used to decide every election. Ohio's a Republican state now. Florida is a Republican state now. It's got 2 Republican senators and a Republican governor. So you win some, you lose some. He'll appoint Luke Noble. God, he never answered for that, did he? That fucking asshole. Hoy. Yeah, I know who he beat, but that's who he beat. He's not going to win re-election. That was also 6 years ago when Colorado wasn't nearly as liberal as it is now. You understand? All these liberals have moved to Colorado. It's like a liberal destination state. They all want to move there. You don't want your state to become the liberal destination state. That's why I'm kind of mad. Like, people are talking about how, like, all these liberals, they're leaving New York because businesses are bad. It's not friendly to business, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, that's not good. No. You want them to stay there. Last thing we want these people to do is move into Texas or North Carolina or Georgia and start swinging elections. That wouldn't be good. Bruins game's tied 2-2. I'll have to go put that on right after this. Remember when New Hampshire used to be conservative? I remember when it was at least a swing state. That's another one. When's the last time New Hampshire? I could throw them in with Colorado and Virginia. When's the last time they voted Republican on anything? They have 2 representatives. Both of them are Democrats. They have 2 senators. Both are Democrats. They still do have a Republican governor. I don't know why he's not running for Senate. He should be running for that seat because he's popular. Sununu. But I guess he'd rather be governor than senator. Doesn't do me any good. All right. If any last minute questions before we call it a night, guys. Democrats couldn't hack it here in Texas. The heat and the bugs are no joke. Yeah, but they're moving there, man. Austin is like one of the most liberal cities in the country. You just don't want urban areas. Urban areas are like fucking like nectar for liberals. They love cities. And Texas has a lot of cities. Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston, El Paso, you name it, Austin. Too many cities. Lorrayna, I already answered the Lorrayna question. The answer is I don't know. I don't know if Jerry's going to play. We'll see. Hopefully. Yeah, Joe Rogan's moving to Texas. If I didn't have a family, if I didn't have like a family and like roots and stuff like that, I would have been gone from the state, guys, so long ago. Like that's the only thing that keeps me here is, roots. Like if I could pick a place to start, like and live, like I would pick Texas. That would be my first choice. I would live in the Dallas Fort Worth area because it's not like too hot there. I know it's hot there, but it's not as hot as San Antonio and Houston. It's northern Texas. I would live there, or I would live in like Georgia somewhere. Georgia's another cool state, up and coming, or North Carolina, something like that. A cool, somewhat conservative state. Florida's too fucking hot. I don't know how anybody lives in Florida. Too hot. No, thank you. But I would live in one of those states. Dallas, Fort Worth suck. I love Dallas. It's one of my favorite cities. I've been to a bunch of cities in this country. Dallas is one of the coolest cities I've been to. I love it there. Love Dallas. Tennessee's a popular state where a lot of people are moving to, but they got no. I want to be on a coastal. I want to be somewhere. I guess Dallas isn't that close to the water, but Tennessee, I just think too many mountains and shit. Too far away from everything. Oh, look at David coming in with the fast facts. Austin is the biggest city in the U.S. without a major league sports team. Facts. Facts. All right, guys. So if nobody has any more questions, I guess we'll call it a night. And we will see you guys all on Saturday night for the live show. Let me hit the refresh one more time in case I missed anybody. Okay, I didn't. Okay, we're good. All right, guys. See y'all Tuesday. Peace.